ChatGPT is not the best AI anymore. And if you're still paying for it in 2025, you're probably getting worse results than the people who switched 6 months ago. I know that's not what the internet told you. ChatGPT gets all the press, all the hype, all the think pieces. But hype and performance are two different things. And right now, on the tasks that actually matter for real work, Claude wins. It's not close. I made the switch 60 days ago, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why. If you're happy getting average outputs from the most popular tool, this video isn't for you. But if you want the one that actually performs, keep watching. Reason number one. The first thing you notice with Claude is the writing quality, and you feel it immediately. Ask ChatGPT to write anything and you'll get headers you didn't ask for, bullet points where you wanted paragraphs, and the same 10 AI buzzwords recycled through every single response. You can write, keep it casual, no formatting right in the prompt, and it will listen for maybe 2 replies before sliding back to its default mode. Claude actually holds its instructions. You say casual and simple, it stays casual and simple. Word limits stick. Banned phrases don't creep back in. The tone you set at the start of a conversation is the tone you get at the end. But the feature that actually changed my workflow? Custom styles. Inside Claude, you can paste samples of your own writing, posts, articles, transcripts, whatever, and Claude builds a full style profile from them. From that point on, everything it writes carries your exact phrasing and your sentence rhythm. I used to spend 15 to 20 minutes reworking every ChatGPT output before I could use it anywhere. With custom styles, I'm down to reading it back and swapping 1 or 2 sentences. Across a full week, that's 5 or 6 hours back in my pocket. Reason number 2. The second reason is artifacts, and this is probably the most visually obvious difference between the two platforms. Normally, when you ask an AI for help, you get text. A paragraph, a list, a code snippet. You copy it, paste it into whatever app you actually need it in, and spend an hour making it work. Claude does something different. When you ask it to build something, it creates a live, interactive output right there in the conversation, in a separate panel next to the chat. Not a description of what it could build. An actual working thing you can click through and test immediately. I've built project trackers, content calendars, client intake forms, and data visualizations that would have taken me hours in a spreadsheet or cost me money to outsource. Claude does it in about 2 minutes. And because artifacts support persistent storage now, the data you enter actually saves between sessions. That used to be a deal breaker for me. It's not anymore. Reason number 3. The third reason is 2 features that work together. And this is where Claude starts to feel less like a chatbot and more like an actual assistant. The first is connectors. Claude runs on something called MCP, Model Context Protocol, which is basically a system that lets Claude plug directly into the apps you already use. So instead of switching tabs, copying content, pasting it in, I just tell Claude what I need. I'll type, and Claude goes into my drive, finds the file, and brings it into the conversation. No tab switching, no copying, it just appears. Right now, there are over 50 integrations: Google Drive, Gmail, Slack, GitHub, and because MCP is open source, new ones are showing up almost every week. Reason number 4. The fourth reason is the model itself. And a lot of people gloss over this because they assume the big AI models are all roughly the same. They're not. And the gap right now is bigger than you'd expect. Claude's latest flagship, Opus 4.6, scores 144 points higher than GPT 5.2 on GDPVAL, which tests real-world task performance across finance, legal work, and research. The context window is where it gets interesting, though. Opus 4.6 handles 1 million tokens, roughly 750 pages of text, in a single conversation. But size doesn't mean much if the model gets lost in that pile. On the test that checks whether it can actually find specific details inside that much text, it scored 76%. The previous model sat at 18.5%. There's also something called context compaction. Instead of hitting a wall mid-project like you do on ChatGPT, Claude automatically compresses the older parts of a conversation so you can keep building without ever starting over. That alone has saved me from losing work more times than I can count. Here's the honest summary. ChatGPT is a solid tool. It launched the category and it deserves credit for that. But for how I work, Long projects, consistent tone, tools that actually connect to my workflow. Claude is just better right now. Writing quality that doesn't drift. Artifacts that build real working outputs. Connectors that plug into your actual apps. A model that holds more context and uses it better. And a transfer process that takes less than an hour.